Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Sam B right here with the Tune Up Show. Back again with another video. So look, right? Cherelle Parker. All right. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before. I am a native of Philadelphia, PA, North Philadelphia, and right now we're in the middle of a mayor candidacy. You got some hopefuls. You got some people here. You got one Republican, this Asian guy, David O. They all sound like they're pretty good, but what I want to talk about today is the run of Philly mayors so far. Most of them have all been Democrat, and I'm not going to bite my tongue, man. They all suck. Okay, Mayor Nutter, John F. Street. All right, Jim Kenney. And the thing about it was, Jim Kenney sucked so bad that you didn't even think we had a mayor, right? No one. I used to ask people during the whole pandemic. People didn't even know we had a mayor. That's how bad Jim Kenney was. All right. So now, who's the new hopeful? We got this woman, Cherelle Parker, now. So I found this video where they got Mayor Michael Nutter, supposedly interviewing her and throwing, hardball questions at her. But I don't think so, because the way these Democrats run, they give each other softball questions. They don't put each other through the ringer, because at the end of the day, a lot of them, they have their own agenda. They have one agenda in mind, and that's just to make money and to lie. And Mayor Nutter, he was one of the biggest liars. Okay, Mayor Nutter was one of the biggest lying mayors of Philadelphia. Okay, if you can't remember the sugar tax, the soda tax, okay, he said it with his own mouth. He said that the money saved from the sugar tax in Philadelphia was going to go to public schools in Philadelphia school district. Did it go there? No, because if you can remember, it was an article that came out right when people started asking questions about the money, about the taxes, right? Well, mind you, it was $30 million that just supposedly went missing overnight. Nobody knows where it's at. No. $30 million just don't go missing, bruh. It's either stolen or it's in somebody's pocket, which is the same thing. So Mayor Michael Nutter, he does not have a good track record with being an upstanding mayor, or even a citizen for that matter. But yet, he finds himself on the Philadelphia Citizen talk show, whatever this is. I never heard of this before. But we're going to take a look at this. We're going to watch this for a little bit, and we're going to see exactly what's going on. We're going to see why Cherelle Parker is supposedly the best candidate for the mayor of Philadelphia. Also, the best lead candidate for the Democratic Party. So let's check this out.
Not generally not known to be a fancy person, but I figure I'd at least get some nice socks.
No, you're known for being a liar. That's it. I mean, you don't have to be fancy to be a liar, dude.
Good evening. But before I ask a question, given.
And what's funny? They always say, and I'm gonna be doing this a lot, because I personally have a very disdain for this person, because I met this person in real life, and this man can't answer. He's allergic to straight questions, to straightforward questions and straight answers. I'm sorry, this man is allergic to straight answers, just like most Democrats are, because they're pawns at the end of the day. They're not here for the interests of the people. And I'm not saying the Republican Party is any better, but I align myself with Christian conservative values. So, Yeah, so I guess if that makes me a Republican, then I guess that's what makes me a Republican. But I'm neither for Republican or Democrat. But if I had to align myself with a political party, not most likely it'd be Republican.
What I used to do for a living, I just want to ask folks to take a moment and think about Temple University police officer Christopher Fitzgerald.
And that's no disrespect to the Temple officer that got his life taken. I didn't mean to do that, but I just, that's another ploy that a lot of these Democrats use. They like the gaslight, they like the virtue signal, and they like to tug on the heartstrings of people. And right now, we need to get to the bottom of it. And he spends at least the first, minute virtue signaling his ass off. So let's just continue.
These incidents in our city touch all of us in very different ways, and I dealt with a lot of these issues. And we had a little clock over there, right? Lightning round. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of lightning round with you. And we had a little clock over there, right? I'd like to get
He's laying it down.
most of my questions in. You were asked earlier about why you wanted the position. I'm going to come at that from a different perspective. Was there a moment, an incident, a circumstance that compelled you to run for mayor? 30 seconds.
You didn't answer questions like this in 30 seconds when you were the mayor. Mr. Mayor, it was member of City Council, watching a difference in style and how the city of Philadelphia was responding to neighborhood preservation, stabilization across the city as it related not just to equity and growth. I'm talking about where they were building new, but I watched neighborhoods that were once thriving communities begin to decline. And I sort of, went on and was intentional about raising the red flags about middle neighborhoods and their decline in the city of Philadelphia. And that's when I knew there was a way that we can do both.
All right. Thanks. I think the rest of my questions will fall in a category of judgment, mindset, and decision making. Mm-hmm. This is a position that requires a significant amount of personal judgment. You may not have all the information you need. And when I hired people, I always wanted to know their thought process, how they dealt with information.
If you can't read between the lines, this is basically seeing if she's going to play ball, if she's asked to play ball. And by meaning playing ball, that means that are you going to do what is asked of you and not necessarily your job? Because your job is to the mayor's job is to preside over a city. Okay, that's a mayor's job, to make sure the city people is intact, everybody's in check. But the way these government officials are running the government and society is that they answer to a higher power. And I'm not talking about God. These people answer to money. They answer to money. Okay? And who's going to give it to them? And that's how they make their decisions. That's why we have a big old crime wave going on in Philadelphia now. But for some reason, I guarantee you, this guy doesn't ask any of those questions about crime wave. What is Cherelle Parker going to do about the crime?
In the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd 3 years ago.
See what I mean? Gaslighting, virtue signaling. George Floyd was all the way in Michigan. Okay? No, I'm sorry, Minneapolis. So why are we still talking about George Floyd? George Floyd was 3 years ago. Okay? We're talking about now. What is Cherelle Parker planning to do about Philadelphia's crime wave? That's the question that needs to be answered.
You introduced Bill 200363 that reimposed the 1-year residency requirement, that people had to live in the city for a year before they could even apply for a job, and it also applied to police officers. Was that a knee-jerk reaction to the murder of George Floyd?
One, absolutely not, but let's just get this clear on the record. I was the majority leader of the City Council of Philadelphia, and you know the role of the majority leaders to introduce legislation on behalf of the president.
I fully understand that. But you also co-sponsored the bill.
But just for the record, I just want the record to be clear.
I understand.
Not only was I a co-sponsor of the bill, but I was the lead advocate for the bill publicly because I wholeheartedly. And part of the reason why is because I don't retract my support on residency. I want us to create as many jobs as possible that give Philadelphia residents the ability, Mr. Mayor, to have those jobs. But you know, and I want the viewing audience.
There's nothing to prevent Philadelphians from getting those jobs.
No, but I want to be real clear about this.
It's our ability to hire people.
No, I want to be real clear about this, Mr. Mayor. Residency and that legislation had been the law of the land for years. That legislation was changed by current Mayor Jim Kenney. That was his legislation when he was a member of the City Council of Philadelphia.
No, actually, I changed it.
Well,
we changed it when I came in.
with all due respect, Mayor Jim Kenney, I'm talking about not giving through negotiating, giving Philadelphia police officers and firefighters the ability to live outside the city. That is not, that is something separate, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely.
You gave Philadelphia firefighters and police officers the ability to live outside the city.
No, actually, an arbitrator did that.
But it was during your tenure as mayor.
It was.
So when they were homeowners here, they were outside. Okay. My point is that Mayor Jim Kenney, who was very much a strong advocate for not having the residency requirement, who served with you in the City Council of Philadelphia.
Yeah, but Jim Kenney is on record for sponsoring you. So Cherelle Parker, not only are you you're starting to be very unclear on your priorities as a future mayoral candidate, but you have misplaced loyalties, because like you're throwing shade at a man that is on record to say that he sponsored you. So what's going on? And I got the receipts for it too. So we're gonna continue.
Like I was a lead advocate for the residency bill, although it wasn't mine. Jim Kenney was a lead advocate for that issue during his
I just want to make
tenure.
sure we're not mixing items here. This is about establishing residency before you can ever take a civil service test. In an environment where we were already struggling to hire police officers in the first place. So I don't think it's about Philadelphians getting jobs or not getting jobs. We need more officers. My only
No. The reason why you can't get cops, you can't hire good cops, is because once the cops are hired, you have Danielle Outlaw that should be outlawed. Okay, you have this woman that's all, mind you, came all the way from Seattle, Portland, Oregon. Sorry about that, Portland, Oregon, where the crime was astronomical, and she did nothing about it. She put her head in the dirt and snuck over here to Philadelphia. Okay? And now she's doing the same thing that she did in Portland, she's doing over here by not allowing cops to do their jobs. Okay? Same thing goes for the new sheriff, another black female. And you know, I'm gonna get into this whole as a black female, I feel like this is the job. I'm like, look. I don't give a shit about who you are, what gender, what color you are. Can you do the job right? Because I'm getting a little sick of these identity politics. Okay? This is why we are in the situation that we're in. This is why the crime wave is happening in cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, LA, because the Democratic Party is more interested in making history by hiring all these black women than actually making it all make sense.
Question is, why was the bill introduced that reversed the previous policy when we don't have enough officers in the first place? Why would we make it more difficult to hire people, regardless of where they came from?
I reject the narrative, and I know, and I know you know this, Mr. Mayor. So when you hear me give this clarity, this is not for you because you already know this, but for the benefit of the viewing public. There's a residency requirement in the city of Philadelphia for municipal employees. Mm-hmm. Whenever there is a...
I'm sorry, is it me or I'm getting like Tyler Perry Medea vibes from Cherelle Parker? You know, I don't know. We may have to check that neck. No, I'm joking. But like I said, a lot of these Democratic people, they come off very passionate. They come off very direct. They come off wanting to come in and do good. But at the end of the day, it's all gaslight, people. We've seen it already. We've seen it with Joe Biden. The Democratic Party has a long history of never coming through on their promises. Okay? Now, I'm not saying the Republican Party is ever worse, but but damn, okay? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that at least the Republicans, they can hide it a little bit better. Okay? Because these Democrats, they got their junk hanging all out for everybody to see, and they have no shame whatsoever.
The position that we cannot find a Philadelphian to occupy, the mayor has the ability to ask for something called a waiver. And the mayor asks for this waiver, which is very much an administrative bureaucrat.
I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit to see if he asks another question. I didn't really watch a lot of this. This is like my second time watching it.
Another administration and a Ramsey Police Department, zero tolerance. They were gone. Sue me later.
Okay, there's one talk about Gordon Ramsay. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. Charles.
Some of the city unions. And secondly,
Gordon Ramsay's,
to be blunt,
I propose to address it, Mr. Mayor, that I had, introduced this legislation. Requirement would have to kick in, but the mayor can do it right now. And I remember Governor Rendell, former Mayor Rendell, calling me once he read that I had, introduced this legislation. He said, wow, first you had the heart to introduce the plan. Now you have the heart to figure out how we can, fill that void because of this nationwide shortage immediately. So that's how I propose to address it, Mr. Mayor.
No, I understand that. On that legislation.
Also, due to the influx of immigrants coming in from the southern border and the northern borders and the Chinese nationalists and the Russian nationalists that's coming in, why do you think that 1 year residency was implemented? You know why? Because that's going to give a chance for all cities, because all cities are about to do it, that 1 year residency before you can apply for a government or city official job. So I would say look between now and maybe 2025, anytime before 2030, you're going to start seeing a lot of Chinese people on these boards. Okay, this is how it's going to happen. A lot of people say, oh, well, this country can't be taken over. Yes, maybe in a frontal attack, but this is how you take over a country. Okay, all the kinks and everything has to be put in place. Okay, everything has every level of infrastructure has to be taken over level by level by level by level. This is chess. This ain't checkers. Okay, these people have been planning this for years, probably since 2000, probably since 9/11. Y'all got to wake up and understand who y'all voting into these cities.
Though, there was significant opposition by at least some of the city unions. And secondly, to be blunt. I mean, some of the folks would.
And also, that's how they did it in the church. Okay, that's how you know, LGBT. That's how the LGBT infiltrated the church. Okay, you know, you had that one choir director that just, you know, he was just a little bit too good with that tambourine. Okay, that's how that started. And then they're like, oh, he just a nice person. No, he not. He homosexual. And we know how God feels about homosexuals and the LGBT. But see, we allowed ourselves to just, you know, turn a blind eye to what God wanted, to what other people wanted. Okay? But that's for another video. Let's get back to this.
We might not actually want them back.
Well, the first thing we had to make sure of, Mr. Mayor, and this is the difference, is when you heard me say I introduced the plan, it's like me standing up and saying that I support Terry stops. I support zero tolerance for any misuse and or abuse of authority by law enforcement, and we'll do exactly in the police commissioner.
Basically, she's for defunding the police in small words. And that's really all she's saying. So for all you cops out there, that is, and like obviously, you know, I'm just, you know, I don't really know if that's her true intention, but whenever a mayor or any government official says that they're for zero tolerance for abuse of authority of any policeman and all that, yes, we know that happens, but it's still an anecdotal experience in the majority sense. Okay, this woman is for defunding the police. All right, she just said it in other words. So for all you cops out there that's, you know, that got Cherelle Parker signs out in your front lawn, let me tell you something, she's coming for your job.
Functioning under a Parker administration would do what Commissioner Ramsey did when there was some who engaged in the misuse and abuse of authority. He fired them immediately. Some people got their jobs back through arbitration, but under another administration and a Ramsey Police Department, zero tolerance. They were gone. Sue me later. We'll talk soon.
Actually, that's not entirely true. Ramsey was more zero tolerance for criminals. And he was under, I think, Rendell as a governor. And for some reason, Ramsey wanted to do more. He wanted to do more on crime. And he wanted more cops. Ramsey brought back the cops that walked the beat. He brought that back for a little while. But Governor Rendell, he took that away. Okay, so I don't know what she's talking about, but Ramsey was more for zero tolerance. I mean, yeah, he was tough on cops that abused their authority, but he also, because I was a teenager at the time when I was a young adult, and I remember looking at more cops walking the beat while Ramsey was commissioner. Okay. John F. Street was mayor at the time, and Ed Rendell was the governor. Okay, so I remember how Ramsey ran it. Okay, and he was more tough on crime, and I think that was it was a small window, but Ramsey, he did actual real good. I mean, he's doing a hell of a lot better than Daniel Outlaw. Okay, he's doing a shit ton better than Danielle Outlaw when it comes to crime. So I don't know what she's talking about. She needs, for somebody that's been in, but see, this is how you know with somebody that just had a job in the industry or where they really working. To me personally, I just think she was just a placeholder in being a government official. Okay, and that's what I think. Because I don't think she was doing her job at all. Because everyone that knows how Ramsey was moving, he was more tough on crime.
was the case with the Parker plan that I introduced. So some people could say, well, who would want them back? Well, now you're saying that I wouldn't have a human resources department within the police department that would be vetting the officers who would be even eligible to come back.
And you see this white woman right here? She's just looking at Cherelle Parker like, you know you full of crap, right? She's just but that's what it is, because we all have to follow the blueprint. And I'm just going to end this right here because I want to get to my receipts real fast. I want to get to my receipts, and I just want to sit here and bring this up. What's it called? Said this in a news break, KYW News Radio article. This is Jim Kenney. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but Jim Kenney, this is what he said. Mayor Jim Kenney was happy. His words, "My candidate won, so I'm giddy." Kenney says Parker has many assets that explain her victory, but there is also this. Black women especially wanted to see a black woman as mayor, and I think they came out and showed that. So it goes back to identity politics. Let me tell you something. I said it before. I do not give a crap about you being black or a woman. I want to know if you could do the damn job. Okay? And from what I see from Cherelle Parker is she has loyalty issues and probably a memory loss. So I don't know what her deal is. I don't know if she's really here. I know she's definitely here to defund the police again. She's going to try to start that back up. If she does, and most likely, I don't trust black women in politics anyway. And yes, I'm a black man, because black women to me, they over the years, especially during the pandemic and before that, even when Trump got on, black women to me, especially liberal black women that are for the Democratic Party, they became very disagreeable and very uncooperative. So with that, hey, if you don't, leave it in the comments. Hit me up. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell like, Sam B, you a misogynist. Why can't a black woman do it? Because you know why I hate hearing this is because you're telling me whenever someone says something, as a black woman or as a black man, you know what you're telling me? You're telling me that, hey, I am most likely, I may make mistakes, but as a black woman, as a black man, you have to help me get over my generational mental illness as a black person. That's why I'm liable to make mistakes as a black woman or a black man. Okay? You put yourself out there as a scapegoat. Why would you put your own political identity under your color of your skin? You set yourself up for a major, major loss every single time you do that. So black people, stop doing it. You either could do the job or you can't. And if you can't do the job, get the hell out of the way for somebody that can do the job, whether they black, yellow, brown, green, blue, red. It doesn't matter. If you can't do the job, get the hell out of the way for somebody that can do the job. And I'm out of here. Peace!